on Full Count Podcast. We have a special guest today, Isaias. He's all into sports. This platform's all about baseball and real estate, among some other things. But I think this would be a perfect blend for him to really participate. So, Isaias, welcome, dude. And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me, Andrew. So, yes, the name's Isaias. I have a background in every sport, really. I did track, football, play basketball, and soccer now to this day. I just love to compete and currently do have a background in real estate. Not that I'm a realtor, but we work on the coaching side of things.
Okay.
Yeah, work with Tom Ferry, well known in the real estate industry. Travel, get to go to a bunch of events, connect, network with a bunch of, top producing agents, which is an amazing experience. So a lot of background with that, and yeah, man, just an active lifestyle. The outdoors, sports is really all I invest myself in.
Good. I like the fact that you said the competitive aspect of your personality, because the topics we're about to go into is the intense competition between baseball teams, especially with what's going on with the Red Sox. You and I were at an Angel game a couple days ago, which was wild to see. I took a few moments that were exciting, but I think one of the most important or most exciting was the whole Alex Cora being thrown out and ejected from the game. What were your thoughts on all that?
I mean, just the lead up to it was pretty insane. Just the pickoff, right? Which we hardly get to see in baseball these days, I feel. And it reminded me of my softball days, and just here for recreational league. You see that all the time. People are not aware when it comes to base running, but no, it was honestly, you want to see that from your manager, right?
Do you? I was about to ask you, like, is that really something people want to see or not? Like, is that professional? Is that not?
And I think that is something that people, I guess, don't understand much these days. They don't see the traditional baseball that we used to see growing up, where benches clear all the time, right?
Was
it was
that
a very normal
then?
thing to do. Yeah, for sure. It was regular, especially, divisional rivalries when you have, say, Dodgers and Giants, Dodgers and Padres, and a player gets hit, whether it was accidental or not, benches clear right away, because there's tensions from previous seasons, right?
Sure. Yep.
So I think it's a good thing for the players, one, to know that your manager has your back, right? And two, a lot of people love hockey. Why? Because there's fights, right? It's the dramatics of it. It allows everyone to kind of get a feel for the tension of the game, right? Because a lot of the time people feel baseball can be a little slow, and that's why they're adding, the pitch clock and bigger bases,
trying to make it quick.
More quick and high scoring. So when you add these layers to it, it just gives it more, volume to the game, just more excitement, I feel like.
100%. And as some people that already watched this podcast, they know my favorite teams happen to be two. Yes, right. I've heard it before. I don't care. Angels and Yankees, but like Aaron Boone, the manager of the Yankees, always has his back. This guy always gets ejected out of so many games. He's known for it. But I think all the players can say the loyalty they have to their skipper is 100% because he's always out there protecting his guys. And I think when we were at the game, though, when Alex Cora got thrown out, I don't know if you might have remembered exactly why he got thrown out, or we know why he got thrown out because he was yelling, but he got upset because of what happened at second base. So I'm going to play that here. I'm going to share the screen so we can kind of take a look at it with the audience, and then we can comment on it.
Good.
So what we're about to see is why Alex Cora got thrown out, right? The reason for it, like why he even went out to the field. And we were up here in the behind home plate, but more on the upper deck. Bad base running. And the reason why it's bad base running is because Jarren Duran was on second base. He was the only person on second. The batter hit the ball, grounded out, right? he should have just ran all the way to first. But what he did when Jaron was in the pickle, he went to second, and that's what got him thrown out.
Yep.
And like, I don't know why he did that, dude. But let me keep playing, and I'll show you part of the problem here for Alex Cora. And I kept reviewing it. He could have a point.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm still. Is he arguing that he wasn't out at second?
No, watch. You're gonna see what. Just pay attention to the second baseman. For those
Okay.
listening, the second baseman does something. Boom! Look at that.
Is he blocking the plate?
Yeah, that's why. I mean, that's kind of makes sense to me, to be honest.
Okay. That's fair. I mean, he had a better angle of it.
Mm-hmm.
Our angle shows yes, he's on a knee, but we can't see if
True.
he's about to put his knee down, but is the knee blocking? Like, where's his foot? Okay, he looks like he is blocking a lot of the play.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this guy has nowhere to go, and that's why he gets up like midway. But I mean, look at the passion behind this guy. He's like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yep. And then it just escalates from there, right?
It escalates from there, and that's like when we were at the game together. I didn't even like notice that he was blocking the bag, and we all started booing him, but it was fun, right?
Yeah. Wow, ejected, bro. Ejected. It was. And it happened so fast, and they don't show replays there. So
at the game, yeah.
Well,
Maybe they do it on purpose to piss people off on purpose.
Yeah. I had no idea why he went out to argue. It was a clear out for sure. We all saw that both ways, right? The pickoff and at second base, it was clear as day.
Out,
but seeing this now, you can see. I think it was Rengifo blocking a lot of the plate. It looks like so.
Yeah. Exactly, and here's another. I think that 1 day before or 2 days before the game that we were at, I think he did the same thing. Players liking their coach to have their back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's Jarren Duran at another game. So just check this out, and I want to hear your comments because I know this is the first time you're probably seeing this.
Yeah. What? I mean, you're looking at that with me, right? Where the glove is above his hand and his fingers on the corner. So what are we looking at? What's the point of replay? I know it's close.
Oh, he's been tossed out of the game. Duran has been run by Doug Eddings. And here comes Cora.
There's your boy, dude.
There he is. There he is.
Duran.
Well, I mean, they're all sitting there watching it on the big screen.
So Duran ejected at this point?
I think he's about to. I think if I'm not... Yeah, he's been ejected along with Cora. I think right here, let's see.
First it was Duran for going off at...
What is the point of replay?
Was it the home plate umpire?
And now Cora has been thrown out as well.
I don't know if it was
the Red Sox.
Maybe. It could have been the second base guy, but he was walking at him. And so then he... Yeah.
Yep.
Look at that.
Yep.
That's so close. I think you have a good point to argue that. And as the manager, I don't think the umpire is warranted to eject Duran at that point. Duran, right? Because that was 50-50.
Right.
It's a very emotional game. And then to eject them that quickly, I don't know if there's any history before that, right? Something's happened.
True.
To get to that point prior. Yeah.
Well, it looked like he was cursing him out a little bit.
He was. That's part of what happens during the game.
You think that's okay, though?
The tensions are high.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Yeah.
What are you saying? What are you saying, one? And, if you're just, terrible call, okay. Those things are said. It's common to curse and things of that nature. But when you're, say, then disrespecting, that's different. So
sure.
But it seemed like it was very quick. It was just get out of here.
Yeah.
And maybe the felt de-escalating a situation because, as we know, it's the two teams that dealt with the trade, right?
Yeah, I mean, look at what happened with the Padres manager and and Roberts, the Dodger manager. I think you saw that all the guys came out, and the ones that were at contention fighting were the managers. I've never seen, actually, I don't think I've ever seen that before, where managers actually are getting, like, Roberts shoved the Padres manager.
Yeah, he would have told him, wow, like gave him a shove. Get out of here.
Right.
Yeah. So that again, for those two teams to go at it, that's not unheard of. I forget who it was that they had hit.
That was you're talking about the Angel game that we were at?
No, the Dodger Padre game that led up to the whole managers going after it. And that's what's crazy.
That was constant back and forth.
Hit.
Tatis was hit. Yeah.
That's what it was. And yeah, for the managers to go at it, that was pretty unheard of. That was,
I know.
You see the players run and go after someone, but not the managers like that. That was crazy.
Yeah, and I'm seeing, I think a lot of it's Shohei, honestly. Judge a little bit too on the East Coast, but baseball is starting to go up, like the viewership, which is great. But I don't know if there's more drama and drama sells. I think you're right. I think if there's more fights, like make it more like hockey, that'd be great in a way.
100%. Because then you get the different audience, right? Another demographic, I guess you can say. You get the youngers that are into just like social media, that are into
the highlights,
the
reels.
theatrics. Exactly. So, quick clips and look at this little argument, look at this little fight, and then it engages a whole another audience.
We've been doing that too on Full Count Podcast on our Instagram. We've been making these reels with all these cool plays that go down, especially the fights. Fights always get the most views, and then we put some like verbiage on there to show like things related to real estate, and we kind of interplay what's going on camera to interplay with the real estate market. And I don't know. I think it's been working. Those that are watching or listening, you can let me know if you think it's good or not. But I think I've had a lot of fun with it, and some people have been commenting. So I think you're right about that. For sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves.
Right. All the time, man. Now, moving on to the next topic, which is the whole Rafael Devers drama. There's another story behind that. I had done a video in regards to that a few weeks, actually about a month or two ago, when Devers did not want to play first base. Now, he had some issues with the front office. He felt disrespected, and basically, he was a DH at the time, and then they asked him to play first, and he said no. I tied it back to a video that I did for the podcast, how it's like business related, because the messaging behind Devers was really bad, I think. The way he delivered his message to the media was horrific. But more so the translator effed up, and he didn't translate everything word for word because Devers speaks Spanish. And he made him sound like he was lazy. And that's not the right thing to do, I don't think, because he basically said he didn't feel comfortable. So I was backing Devers this whole time, like a damn fool. And then he goes to the Giants. And then this guy says in front of a bunch of people, I'm going to go wherever they want me to go. I'll play whatever position. So he just switched it up. So he must have some contention with this team.
Yeah. And I think there obviously is more to the story than we know.
Right.
But for me, it's both ends, right? You can see, Devers' side of it, and then you can see the Red Sox side of it,
right?
And who's at fault? I think it's partly both. At the end of the day, yes, he could have done a better job of communicating, putting it out there for media. Is never a good idea for any player to express yourself, to share your frustrations. You never do that to the media.
Yeah.
Right? Ever. Unless you're like the leader of a team and you're trying to make a point, locker room point, that's different. But this wasn't that. This is the Red Sox. The third baseman went down, or first baseman first. He said no. And then the third baseman, he said no again. So how does that make him look? Yeah. Right? It makes him look, like you said, a little lazy or just not a team player. How does that affect the locker room? Go ahead.
Right. No. Well, what it was he was supposed to play third base. Then Alex Bregman from the Houston Astros got traded to the Red Sox.
Yes.
And he replaced Devers at third. So that kind of was like, imagine how you feel with a big ego. You're like, okay, I just got replaced. But then Craig Breslow and Alex Cora and whoever else at the front office told him, we're going to have you DH. So he was comfortable because that's what he is. He's a slugger. Like, everyone knows him as a great hitter.
Yep.
So he was comfortable there. And then Casas, the first baseman, gets hurt. Something to do with his knee. He's out for the whole season. Craig Breslow says something like, pick up your glove, you're going to first. And he's like, no, I'm not going to there. So that's where the whole drama happened. And then if you can kind of elaborate on the whole trade that took place with the Giants, that would be something, would be good for us to know.
Yeah. So, again, I think ultimately the two sides were at, like, so far apart, at such a drift. And the only other analogy I can put with this, it's with basketball, and it's recent too, which is awesome and it's great. It's the trade with the Mavericks, Lakers and the Mavericks for Luka.
Yeah, dude.
Same thing. Luka was lazy. He was overweight. He's in his last year of his contract, gonna get a supermax with the Mavs. Do they want to pay him this when he can't finish a playoff series? Not a series, but a whole playoff tenure, right? There's all these factors that play into it. So it's crazy that this is becoming normal. But honestly, like you, I see the Red Sox side of it, right? We have this superstar that is our highest paid player of all time.
Sure.
And now he's not a locker room guy, right? Now he's becoming a bit of a cancer in the locker room.
Yeah.
So what do
that's
you
a problem. I don't know.
What do you do? And I think it starts with management. Did they do the best of jobs, setting him up for success, right? Preparing him in case. They said, no, hey, throw your glove away. You're done playing in the infield, right? You're going to be a DH. That's it. So when you tell someone, throw your glove away, okay, and then out of nowhere, you tell them, okay, we're going to need you.
Right.
And this is where his response comes, right? I'm not prepared. You didn't have me practice during spring training for this.
Like
so how do you expect me to now practice, right?
Yeah.
So how do you expect him to then just say, okay, he's already not the best fielder. If you look at his numbers, he's already not the best. And then you can't go into a season, any game without preparation. As an athlete, you cannot. And so I think he was backing himself up and then having a translator kind of just say what he was saying, and you misinterpret things, right? But
big issue.
Yeah. So again, Red Sox front office, on them, the manager, for not being able to repair the relationship and the whole thing, but also not a bad idea to get rid of that contract.
Right.
That's a lot of money for somebody. Yeah, and get in return some great prospects.
Right.
Right. So they have a lot of room for improvement now because they have a great young team, and now they have a lot more money on the table.
Right.
So
I think
maybe not. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree with you because I also think a lot of the Red Sox people are out for blood right now on Craig Breslow. Some reporters asked him, how he felt with the Devers choosing the Giants, and he said, I'll quote him, he says the following: I absolutely need to have the humility to think back on the interactions and figure out what I could have done better, in reference to Devers. So I don't know how much longer he has on the Red Sox organization. He could be going sometime soon. I don't know.
Yeah, there's always going to be somebody at fault, right? That's professional
He might be the
sport.
downfall.
Yes, somebody has to, when something that bad happens, something that wrong, goes down, somebody's going to have to take the blame, right?
True.
So it could be him. It could be him. Again, I think that's for the inside to dictate, because I'm sure there was somebody that communicated these things with him, the expectations,
right?
Just they weren't able to, set him up for success. Communicate what was needed from him in return, and that led to the whole ordeal.
There's this meme going on saying, it's two photos, right? One, and I'll put it up on here too, but one is of Devers being like, David Ortiz has his arm over him, talking to him, mentoring him, because that was his mentor, right? And then the next one shows now Barry Bonds is his mentor, and they're like, I think Devers upgraded, but I don't know. They're both freaking good. It's kind of funny, but you speak Spanish pretty good, right? Like, you understand it. Maybe you can translate this for us for the audience. I won't play the whole video, but it is interesting because David Ortiz has his own interpretation of what went on. So we're going to have the audience take a look at this, and then you can translate it a little bit.
Tú no puedes venir a decir que
I hear it.
Aquí, cuando el respeto te lo faltaste tú mismo. El orgullo de un pelotero, y más bajo un contrato como el que él tiene, es que cuando llegue a entrenamiento, llega en una forma física que cuando lo vean digan, wow, pero fulano en el off-season se puso palo de él. No llega fuera de forma, mi gente, eso no corre en pelota. Entonces, tú fuiste de los tercera base el año anterior, que jugó de la peor defensa, y tú vas a llegar a entrenamiento fuera de forma. Te traen un tercera base, Gold Glove, por el déficit que tú tuviste el año anterior, y tú dices que te están faltando respeto. No, manito. La pelota no se ve de ese punto de vista.
I think that's good.
Y usted no se puso para lo suyo.
All right.
So what do we got here? What do you think his perspective is, and what did he say? And then give us your perspective.
Okay,
that's his boy, by the way.
I was gonna say some heavy stuff, some words for him. So he said pretty much what the caption says, saying that the only person that lacked respect for anyone is his own self. He lacked respect for himself.
Yeah.
He's saying that a player of his stature within the organization, right? The highest paid player, how much money he makes.
Right.
You come into a season in the best possible shape to where they see you and they say, wow, look at this specimen. Right? And you leave no question. And then when you end the season like you did last season at third base, not being as good as maybe he could have been, you put the work in the off season to prove to them that you can play that.
Right.
And so coming into the season, not being in shape, in the shape that he should be, being the best player on the team.
He implied he was
and then
overweight.
The Red Sox. Exactly. So he's saying it's no surprise that they go and sign a Gold Glove third baseman to take your place because they didn't see that you were in the shape that they needed you to be in. So if anybody's to blame, it's yourself. Yeah. So he's basically just calling him straight out, man.
Calling him out straight up.
Yeah. Saying that's on you. Don't put your blame on them. Like, blame yourself.
Yeah, and I'm curious what's going to happen now with the Giants if they're actually going to improve with him on the team. I'm sure they are in a way, but he's still at batting average is like I don't remember. I think it was like 260 or 240. It's not. I mean, it's okay, but I'm sure he'll get back into the swing of things. After when he was on the team for the World Series of 2018, I think in 2019 he was batting like 311, and ever since then he's kind of been sliding down. So we'll just have to see. I know he hit a home run for the Giants already a few times, I think. But there was a point where, because the Red Sox and the Giants played against each other recently.
Yep.
And the Red Sox, the pitcher struck him out or had him not get on base 4 times. And it was funny because Alex Cora, when that happened and he got struck out, Alex Cora was laughing, dude. It was funny. And we'll put it up. Did you get to see that or no?
I did. He walks up to, I don't know if he wants to talk to the pitcher or to make a change, but He walks out and looks at the dugout, and then he's laughing, he's smiling, and Devers has no reaction to it.
What does that say about Cora? What do you think that says about him? I kind of like that. I kind of have respect.
I do too. I do too, because again, you want your players on your side, and he's just saying, "Look, we got him, right? We got him." So
good. Yeah.
It's gonna again take a lot of time to see how everything unfolds and who actually wins this whole trade. But yeah. Right now, based off of that series, yes, the Giants won the series, but Devers really didn't do much besides that 2-run home run.
Right, and then Jarren Duran too had some words. I mean, he didn't really say anything, but he implied that Devers wasn't. I think he did, anyways, from what I last heard a few weeks ago. He didn't seem like he was a huge fan of Devers in the team space. So who knows? We'll see. But I think that was exciting to watch the whole Cora thing, and we'll have to see what happens next for the Angels. They swept the Red Sox, so we'll see what they do for the rest of the season. Hopefully Trout stays in. But we'll have to, I don't know. There's a lot to happen right now.
Yeah. I mean, on the Angels side of things, we're only a game and a half out from the wild card as we stand right now, which, if I'm being honest with you, I didn't expect that.
No,
right?
Neither.
I was expecting us to be way under 500. I've been saying if we want a shot at doing anything this season, we got to go into the All-Star break being around 500, maybe 2-3 games under tops.
Right.
But we're sitting at 500, which anything can happen at that point. Just have a good second half and see what happens. See where that takes us.
We'll have to see, man.
That could be me, the fan talking. You know what I mean? Always hopeful.
You have to be an optimist as a Angel fan, right? Considering all the shit that Artie's done, Moreno. But all right, this was a good one. I think the next one we should talk a little bit about the Angels a little bit, Artie Moreno, and then we got to throw in some real estate because, like you said, you worked at Tom Ferry currently, and you're involved in all real estate stuff. So we got to throw in real estate in there, and then maybe we can look into baseball players, like recent purchases they've done or where we expect them to go, considering the new trades. Like Rafael Devers has an opportunity to buy a sick pad in San Francisco now. So maybe we can talk about that.
True. Yeah. What's he going to look into? Where?
Exactly.
Right? What
and
price
why?
point? Shit like that. Shit, yeah.
Yeah. I wish I was in their price points. That'd be dope. I would want to be the realtor, actually, at the end of the day. That's all I want. So we'll see. We'll see if we can get a baseball player on this podcast, too, at some point. That'd be amazing.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for listening. Subscribe, like, comment. Let us know what you think of Isaias, if we should bring him back on. Give him a score, and we'll go from there.
For sure. Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man.